Okay, so this morning, good morning. Okay, this morning I have to say I'm going to do a little think aloud about school, specifically schedule of school. And I am annoyed. For my whole life, I have been annoyed because when we start school at whatever age, 5 or 6 years old, we have to go there whether we want to or not. And we have to learn the things that need learning. And I often felt like I was wasting my time. Because what I really wanted to be doing was pursuing my interests. And I don't need anyone to tell me what to do or what to be interested in, because I am never out of ideas. Especially when I was 5 or 6. Right? So what I really wanted was, my dog is making me crazy right now because he really needs to be here. So I'm going to go let him in. All right, here I am. Okay, so my big thing about, my big thing about school is that, so of course school has evolved over, my lifetime. And now public schooling is more like, at least in early childhood and in the early elementary years, I see it in my children where there is room for play and there is room for the child's interests to guide them. But there's still, because it's systemic, it's a system, right? There's still not a perfect match, obviously, between what the child wants to learn and the learning that is prescribed. But every year, my children experience this thing that I experienced. And I think a lot of people experience it. And it is burnout towards the end of the school year. So like they're doing their best, but they don't give a crap anymore. Because my children, just like myself, and I think many others, don't need to be told what to learn. They need to be given time to pursue their interests. So what happens in the family life is that after school becomes this second life where all of the living and the personally interesting learning and all of that stuff has been postponed all day long because school has its demands. And now this second life needs to be lived. And of course, there's not enough hours in the day. And then what ends up getting sacrificed is sleep, nutrition, all that stuff. Even family relationships to some extent, because like my children don't know the extent of teacher me because teacher me backs off. Because teacher me and parent me are very almost the same person, right? So, but parent me is dominant at home and teacher me is dominant when I'm schooling. And they want parent me, and parent me elevates the goals of teaching and understands the goals of teaching. And I understand the balance that's needed. So I can't impose any more on them. Which means that the teachers and the government prescribed curriculum has taken over part of my parenting, and I'm upset about it because I don't want them to learn those lessons, except it's society and crap, like it's a catch-22, so if I don't let them learn, if I protect them too much from the world when they're young and I allow them to pursue their own interests in their highly idiosyncratic ways, like my mother did for me, okay, I will end up with incredibly creative children, like I am incredibly creative, who may not have the skills to really fit in to the world, like me. Right? But then I do send my kids to public school, and I try to provide that balance. I try to help them negotiate their school lives with autonomy, and it's not easy. The end of the school year is exhausting for me, even though the kids are doing okay. Because a lot of my parenting, my emotional support and navigating of all the things that are popping up at the end of the school year, like this is my busiest time of year as a parent. And I resent it, I resent it. I resent that the first month of summer vacation, my children are just going to be shedding the school stuff, the pressures and the routines and all the demands, right? To the point where, like, my daughter was like, under no circumstances, like, yes, I want my instrument at home, and yes, I am going to practice, but nobody's putting any kind of schedule on me. I refuse. She was very clear, and I had to, like, understand that even though she's going to spend a month ignoring her instrument, it's part of her process. I did the same. I think all kids do the same. I've seen countless kids come out of school and they're just like, right? So I told her in August, I'm going to start talking about your instrument if I see that it hasn't been touched. So I'm not going to say that she has demand avoidance. I know that I do. I see it in her too, but I think it's a normal human thing. Except maybe I'm seeing more than a normal human thing. Maybe neurotypical people don't feel the extreme exhaustion at the end of the school year. Maybe they can just jump right into day camp and be excited and happy and not see it as another host of demands and things to learn. Maybe people don't want to have quiet, unscheduled, alone time for many hours a day that I can't do without, my kids can't do without, my partner can't do without, my mother can't do without. Like, everybody that I'm close to, that I know them personally in their personal lives, there's not one person in my life who doesn't need it. So from my perspective, it's the basic human need that we don't account for when we're schooling children. They need hours of unstructured time. And all of school is structured. And it's the whole day, like all of their time. So when are we making time for unstructured, child-led, interest-driven learning? Like, I don't see it. I still don't see it. I see people talking about it in academia, but I don't see it happening. I haven't seen it happening yet. All right. It's because people think that, you know, in order to give somebody some pay for something, like a teacher needs to make money, right? They have to be working very hard. And actually, hard is the opposite of support for learning. Anything hard, just like forget about it. Pushing, you meet a limit and then you push it, you break. You meet a limit, you stop, you look at it, and you adjust. Who am I talking to right now? Probably me. Yeah, okay. I will talk to you again. You know I will. I don't know when. I love you all and thank you for listening.